Hello everyone, in this video we'll be discussing about larynx. Before we start with this, make sure you subscribe my channel. So we will be discussing about larynx under the following topics. So larynx is an organ responsible for production of voice and allows passage of air into the lungs. This larynx extends from the laryngeal inlet to the cricoid cartilage which wraps around it. This larynx has three parts, namely the supraglottic, glottic and the subglottic part. The supraglottic part extends from the laryngeal inlet to the vestibular fold, ventricle or the glottic part extends from the vestibular fold to the vocal folds, and the infraglottic part extends from the vocal folds to the cricoid cartilage. Moving on to the mucous folds of larynx, it is of three kinds, the array-epiglottic fold, vestibular fold and the vocal folds. The space between the array-epiglottic fold is the laryngeal inlet, the space between the vestibular fold is the rima vestibuli, and the space between the vocal folds are the rima glottis. Further details are already discussed in the videos of rima glottis and laryngeal cavity. Now let's talk about laryngeal cartilages. It is composed of 9 cartilages. 3 unpaired cartilage and 3 paired cartilage. 3 unpaired cartilages include the epiglottis, thyroid cartilage and cricoid cartilage, while the 3 paired cartilages are the arytenoid, corniculate and cuneiform cartilage. Now we will discuss each of the cartilages in detail. The epiglottis is a leaf-shaped cartilage which extends behind the hyoid bone and the base of the tongue. Its upper end is broad and free, which forms the upper boundary of the laryngeal inlet, while the lower end is pointed and connected to the posterior surface of angle of thyroid by the thyroepiglottic ligament. The thyroid cartilage is the most prominent, which acts as a shield to protect the larynx from the front. It consists of 2 quadrilateral laminas which meet in the front to form an angle called the thyroid angle. This thyroid angle in males is responsible for the Adam's apple. The posterior surface of thyroid cartilage provides attachment to the following structures, namely the thyroepiglottic ligament, pair of vestibular ligament and vocal ligaments. The posterior border of each lamina provides attachment to the following 3 muscles, namely the palatopharyngeus, salpingopharyngeus and the stylopharyngeus muscle. The oblique line of thyroid cartilage provides attachment to the following muscles, which are the thyrohyoid, sternothyroid and inferior constrictor. The cricoid cartilage is a signet-shaped ring of cartilage which wraps around the lumen of larynx. It consists of a narrow anterior arch and a broad posterior lamina. Posterior surface of lamina presents a median ridge and 2 depressed areas on each side of this ridge. Next is the arytenoid cartilage, which is a pyramid-shaped cartilage. This cartilage articulates with the lateral part of the upper border of cricoid cartilage. It consists of an apex, base, 3 surfaces, that is the posterior, anterolateral and medial surface, and 2 processes, the muscular and the vocal process. The next cartilage is the corniculate cartilage, which are the 2 small conical nodules articulating with the apex of arytenoid cartilage. Cuneiform cartilages are tiny rod-shaped cartilages present lying above the corniculate cartilages. Now we move on to the muscles of larynx. These are of 2 types, namely the extrinsic and intrinsic muscles. Extrinsic muscles are of the following: palatopharyngeus, salpingopharyngeus, stylopharyngeus, thyrohyoid and sternothyroid. All these muscles elevate the larynx except sternothyroid, which depresses the larynx. The intrinsic muscles are the following: the cricothyroid, oblique arytenoid, transverse arytenoid, thyroarytenoid, lateral cricothyroid, posterior cricothyroid, array epiglotticus and thyroepiglotticus. So let's discuss the origin and insertion of these muscles. So the first muscle, that is the cricothyroid, is a triangular muscle, and as the name suggests, crico stands for cricoid cartilage and thyroid stands for thyroid cartilage. So this muscle arises from the anterolateral part of the cricoid cartilage and inserts into the lower border of lamina of thyroid cartilage. The next muscle is the oblique arytenoid. So as the name suggests, oblique stands for diagonal or slant and arytenoid stands for the arytenoid cartilage. So this muscle arises from the muscular process of one arytenoid cartilage and inserts into the apex of the opposite arytenoid cartilage, which makes it an oblique muscle. So next muscle is the transverse arytenoid muscle. It is a triangular muscle. It arises from the posterior surface of one arytenoid cartilage to the posterior surface of another arytenoid cartilage, which represents a rectangular straight muscle. The next muscle is the thyroarytenoid muscle, and as the name suggests, it arises from the angle of thyroid cartilage and inserts into the arytenoid cartilage. The next muscle is the lateral cricoarytenoid cartilage. It is a triangular muscle which arises from the lateral part of the upper border of cricoid cartilage and inserts into the muscular process of arytenoid cartilage. The same implies for the posterior cricoarytenoid muscle. It is also a triangular muscle, but the only difference is that it arises from the posterior surface of cricoid cartilage lateral to the median ridge, and it too inserts into the muscular process of arytenoid cartilage. Next is the array epiglotticus. As the name suggests, array stands for arytenoid cartilage and hence it originates from the muscular process of arytenoid cartilage. It inserts into the margin of epiglottis. The last muscle is the thyroepiglotticus. It arises from the posterior aspect of angle of thyroid cartilage and inserts into the margin of epiglottis. Moving on to the nerve supply. All the muscles of larynx are supplied by the recurrent laryngeal nerve except cricothyroid, which is supplied by the external laryngeal nerve. Moving on to the actions of these muscles. The posterior cricoarytenoid cartilage helps in abduction of the vocal cords, while the lateral cricoarytenoid, transverse arytenoid, and the oblique arytenoid helps in adduction of the vocal cords. The cricoarytenoid and the thyroarytenoid muscle increases or decreases the tension of vocal cords. So that's it. Make sure you subscribe my channel. See you in the next video.